Peace. What's the word, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap back in with the kid, man. It's round two for the day. It's one of those spontaneous joints. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I had something that came up in my mind that I felt the need to discuss, man. So hopefully y'all got about another hour or so to chop it up with the kid, man. It's going to be a impactful build, man. Y'all see the particular title of this stream, so y'all already know where we coming from. So what's the word? Hopefully y'all got time for another round of my building for the day. Then I promise y'all I'm gonna leave y'all alone, man. Give y'all time to soak up all of the information, inspiration, motivation, all that good stuff, man. So what's the word? How y'all living? How y'all feeling once again? Once again, it's been about 2 or 3 hours, man, since the last stream. So what's the word with y'all? Mr. Barbados. Peace, peace, my brother. Ray Sean, peace. What's happening? What's the word? We back in this thing round two. If you missed the first one, oh well, you got time to catch up on that joint once I get done with this particular build, man. But this gonna be one of those builds. Nappy Ted, peace. What's happening with you, my brother? Oh yeah, you already know. It's gonna be one of them joints, man. Gotta talk critical of my people for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna come with some solutions, of course, but I gotta let my people know the major flaws that we have, man, that continue to keep us at the bottom. Not only continue to keep us at the bottom, but got us to the bottom in the first place. Just from studying the history of my people. This is one of the major flaws, the common denominator across the board when I would study my people, man, in regards to what keeps us at the bottom and what's got us there in the first place. Ray, peace, what's happening? Chris, what's the word? Evan, peace, what's happening? Everything is good. Everybody is good. Mark, for sure, 100%. You already know. Antoinette, peace, queen, what's happening? 100%, man. We too loving and too forgiving as a people, man, and to a fault, man. I was having this discussion earlier, man. A client of mine was just talking about ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt and whatnot, and just talking about some of our glorious empires, and then, how everything fell and the manipulation of the white folks, this, that, and the third, and how we was schooling and teaching the white folks, and how we pretty much let our guards down because we was too loving and trusting, and that's how they pretty much got us. Larry, peace, what's the word? Say you just battled the bug out here, man. Glad to see you still thriving out here, though. Glad to see you survive that joint and you're thriving. But yeah, it's real in the field, though, out here, for sure. Lindell, peace, what's happening? CC, what's the word? Oh, Chris, for sure. Yeah. It can't keep me down for too long. Yeah, for sure. We definitely good. Appreciate that, though. But yeah, man, black people, man, we gotta chill, man. We have definitely gotta chill. CC, you say the poster. That right there, Fred Hampton, and then boom, you got Tupac behind me. So Fred Hampton and Pac. Those are the two people that you see behind me. But yeah, that was when you study our history honestly and objectively, the history of black people. When you study our history, you will see that's the common denominator right there. Too loving, too forgiving. You know what I'm saying? And to a fault. And I feel like we still, for the most part, suffer from that. Too loving, too forgiving. Now, the thing of it is, we too loving and we too forgiving when it comes to other people. When it comes to ourselves in today's time, when it comes to us dealing with one another, we not so loving and forgiving. Whole different ball game when we dealing with each other. But when we dealing with other groups of people, that's when this applies. So when we dealing with other groups of people, that's when we want to let the guard down. That's when we want to be so loving and so forgiving. That's when we want to turn the other cheek and all of this other stuff. That's when this applies. But when we are dealing with each other, this does not apply. We are not so loving. We are not so forgiving. And we already know why that is. We dealing with self-hatred and things along those lines. But when it comes to other people, that's when we tend to let them guards down. We drop them guards rather quickly. And that's how we tend to get infiltrated, betrayed, and all of that type of good stuff, man, because we let them guards down real quickly. We too quick to want to be accepted by other groups of people. We too quick to want to accept other groups of people and embrace them. Like that's our problem. It's our biggest problem. And we not going to get back to our position until we change that mentality. Got to shift that mentality, man. It's like black people be afraid to be considered mean out here. You know what I'm saying? And I always found that to be funny. Black, we be afraid to be considered mean in the eyes of other people. Like, no, I don't want to. Like, matter of fact, and before I get the building, Chemothetics, peace, what's happening? Better future, peace. Appreciate that donation, my brother. You say we can never get past that loving and forgiving of our nature, because we are people of civilization. Once we stop, we become like them. And see that, I'm glad you said that, better future, because that was part of the build. That's the part of the build I had earlier, and I'm a build on that. I'm gonna build on that. But before I build on that, I want to pick up where I was about to. Yeah, I'm about to pick up where I left off real quick, man. But have you ever been having a conversation with a black person, and the topic of race came up, and then a black person, like you start talking about white people, start talking about other different groups of people, and you having that conversation with a black person, they always got to add that disclaimer before they start going in talking about what they may dislike about white people. They always add a disclaimer. Now, it's a bunch of different ways that they phrase the disclaimer, but they always say something along the lines of like, now I'm not racist, or something along those lines. They do the same thing white people do. I have too many conversations with brothers and sisters where they got to let me know that they don't dislike white people, they not racist, this, then the third, before they try to go in regards to things they may dislike about that group. So what if, you know what I'm saying, just express your mind, man. Who cares if you come off as a racist? You can't be that anyway as a black person. But who cares how you come off? It's like we be afraid to express ourselves when it comes to our displeasure with other groups without having to add these disclaimers. I never add that disclaimer. When I start talking about white folks, when I start talking about any other ethnic group, I go in. I ain't finna tell you, hey, I'm not racist. It's not all white people. No, I go in. I don't have no apology beforehand. I don't have no apology after. If the shoe don't fit, then you ain't gotta wear it. That's what I say. So if I'm talking about a specific group of people, listen, I'm not adding disclaimers. If the shoe don't fit, then you don't have to wear it. You don't have to wear it at all. So I'm not here to tell you, hey, I'm not this, that, and the third. No, I'm going to tell you what's on my mind, and you can take what you want to do with that. You can take and do what you please with that. But better future, back to that bill. Now, when you say we can never get past the loving and forgiving of our nature because we are the people of civilization, once we stop, we become like that to a degree. But to a degree, because even within that, we understood that it was a time for peace and it was a time for war. So we understand that. So we just got to learn how to activate that warlike mentality, because now, opposed to back then, we know what we're dealing with. So we got situations where we got Maroons and we got Nat Turners. So we got a bunch of people, and hey, you got the Haitians and things like that. So we got a bunch of people in our history that understood that, hey man, we dealing with some beasts, it's wartime. So we gonna activate that warlike tribal mentality, because we the original people of civilization, meaning we the original people when it comes to armies and tribes and things like that. So we understand what it's like to go to war. We was doing that amongst ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So we wasn't just at peace with each other, like, and everything was kumbaya. Like, we understood that we had to protect our territory even when it was amongst one another. So we know we got that in our blood as well. We just got to activate it, and now we understand what we're dealing with, just like some of our ancestors back in the past understood what we're dealing with, and they was like, all right, it's wartime, man. We can't get along peacefully. We can't coexist peacefully with these savages, so it's time to go to war. So we definitely got that energy inside of us. Got to learn to activate that joint. Then when we activate it, we got to ride it out. We got all of that type of stuff in our nature, man. We got the peace, we got the love, but then we also got, listen, we got that warrior energy as well. We the original warriors too. Let's not forget that part of our history and part of ourselves. So we definitely got that part within us laying dormant. All we got to do is activate it when it's time. And now we got, at this point in the game, we should now understand that we don't have any friends. As John Henry Clark has told us, we don't have any friends. Black people, we have no friends. Like, none of these other ethnic groups are our friends. We have no friends. So now we understand that. So now we got to activate a totally different energy. That warrior energy must be activated. And we got plenty of our people that have came before us that then activated that energy. Khalid Muhammad is a good example of that type of energy being activated, because he understands what we're dealing with. And that's learning from history. Like our peoples back in the day, when they first encountered this group of people, they didn't know. They didn't know what they was getting themselves into. Like, they didn't know. We can't fault them on that. They had no idea. That was that trick knowledge. They got tricked. They had no knowledge of this group of people. Now we have a knowledge of it. Now we got to take something and do. We got to take that knowledge and do something with it, because now we know what we're dealing with. That's how you learn from history. That's where we at with it. We know who we dealing with. We know the nature of the beast. Now we got to take something. We got to take that information and we got to do something with it. That's where we at, man. We got to learn from that history. And that's part of learning from history, man, is activating that energy that wasn't activated back then when they first encountered them because they didn't know. They were like, oh, man, these people moving just like us. So we going to civilize them. Wrong. Now we know that, though. Now we know. So what we going to do? Kill, peace, what's happening? And that's the question. Now what we going to do? That's where we at with it. Now we gotta ride that wave. We gotta ride that Khalid Muhammad type of warrior energy. Hey, even Tupac himself, Tupac behind me, was shooting cops and whatnot. He shot a cop and things along those lines. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of energy that we gotta roll with. You know what I'm saying? If things start getting a little too thick, man, we gotta have that type of energy behind us. You know, we gotta be ready to go. We gotta be ready to go because now we know what we're dealing with. We know we're not dealing with a people that we can coexist with peacefully while we are here. We now got a thorough understanding of that, man. Like, I mean, we done had too many people come before us and let us know about the people that we dealing with. Too many people. Now, of course, we got, like, our people, we like to remain blind to the facts. We like to remain blind to all of the evidence that our ancestors before us have laid in front of us and presented us with. We like to remain blind to it, but man, listen. Again, if you honestly studying history, man, then you're going to reach the same conclusions that all of them have reached. We have never coexisted peacefully with said group of people. And y'all know the group of people that I'm talking about. Never. Nobody can point me to a time in history where it was a peaceful coexistence. Nobody. Terenzo, my brother, peace. What's happening? The Book of Rhymes, peace. What's happening? Market exact and again, yeah, you say what's even worse, our people have adopted their culture as well. And that's part of the problem. But that's part of where we come in. That's part of our role. When we come in, you know what I'm saying, you gotta deprogram and reprogram and all that good stuff. And that's part of our duty, you know what I'm saying, to civilize those minds that have been brainwashed, that have been enslaved, indoctrinated, all of that. So, and that's when you gotta come with the hard truth, the harsh truth, whatever you want to refer to it as, man. That's when you got to come with it, and you got to keep drilling it over people's heads, man, whether they like it or not. And more times than enough, man, they not gonna like it. 9 times out of 10, they not gonna like that truth. They not gonna like the facts. They not gonna like the evidence. They not gonna want to hear it. But who cares? We gonna keep drilling them with it. Create strategy. Peace. What's happening? We gonna keep drilling them with it. Like I said, man, black people, we can tend to be soft. We can tend to be a little too soft, man. We'd be afraid to speak truth to power, man, when it comes to these other groups, when it comes to what's going on in society. We'd be afraid we'd be soft. And that's been my criticism for a very long time, man. Black people be too soft with it. Way too soft. Way too soft, man. Tell them how you really feel, man. We like to try to whisper it. We don't want everybody to think that we this bad person because of something that we said, because they couldn't handle something that we said. Forget all of that, man. Forget all of that. But we the only group of people, like I said, that tends to do that, man. Everybody else gonna let you know how they feel. You don't know where a lot of these other people stand. It's us that we trying to be all secretive with it. Soft, man. We soft. Forget all that, man. Do you understand? Listen, do y'all understand? I'm sure most of y'all do. But do y'all understand the amount of, the amount of suffering inflicted upon your ancestors? Do y'all understand the amount of suffering that was inflicted upon your ancestors by these white folks? Do y'all understand that? So why are you afraid to offend that group of people? Let me know. Do you understand the amount of suffering that was inflicted upon your ancestors by Arabs and Asians in and of themselves? And again, why are you afraid to offend these groups of people? We ain't enslaving them. We ain't doing what we did. We not doing what their ancestors did to our people. We just simply stating some facts verbally. That's it. So why are you afraid to do that? That's that fear that they instilled that fear in you. They instilled that fear in you. All we doing is speaking. That's all we doing. And we afraid to do that. We afraid to speak. We literally afraid to speak out against them. Just speak. That's it. We afraid to do that part. Let alone, you know what I'm saying, physically do anything or create systems that go against them. We afraid to speak. We don't even want to take that step and just start speaking out against them. We afraid to do that. We afraid to do that right there, but they not afraid to do that. They wasn't afraid to enslave us, create whole systems that got us enslaved. They not afraid to speak out against us. Like, they not afraid to do any of that. We are though. We are though, and that's what we gotta chill on that, man. We gotta chill out on that. We gotta chill on. I used to get, like I said, I used to get that all the time when I was on these platforms by elder black men telling me I need to watch what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? When I'm speaking about these white folks, not necessarily speaking bad about them. It's just revealing history. You can't get mad at me when I'm speaking. I'm speaking on history. I'm speaking on actual facts. Better future. I'm gonna say it's a little bit. I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both. Because even some of the ones that break the conditioning be afraid to speak. You know. So I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both. I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both because again, they instilled that fear. They instilled that fear, man. We're afraid of what they gonna do. So it's a little bit of both. Just like the people that tell me, even if we was to try to go out and create our own community, do X, Y, and Z, they ain't gonna do nothing but destroy it and kill us all. That's fear right there. So no matter if we break the conditioning, they still got it in our minds that if we build our own little culture and whatnot, or society, they gonna come around and destroy it. That's fear. Which they did that. That's tactical. They did that on purpose. It's intentional. They want you to think they're gonna destroy everything that you try to build that doesn't include them. You know, so that's intentional. So they want us to think that, man. Appreciate the donation, by the way. But yeah, they want us to think like that. But that's fear though. That's fear though, and we cannot live in that fear. And a lot of us, we dwelling in that fear. We dwelling in it, we living in it. But it's all good. It's all good. Like I said, man, it's crazy. It's crazy because I got like all of that type of stuff I was getting hit with. Left and right. I still get hit with it. People, but at this stage in the game, like back then I was a young bull. It was hope for me, possibly. You know what I'm saying? It was possible hope for me. So that's why they was trying to warn me not to say certain things. Now I'm knee deep in it. So don't nobody try to warn me in regards to, you know what I'm saying, my message and the stuff that I talk about. They ain't trying to warn me no more because I've been talking about it. I've been talking the same way for 10 plus years. They thought it was a phase back in the day, and now they know and understand that nah, it's not a phase. Dude really be on that type of stuff, man. So we can't control him. We can't tell him to watch what he's saying. He's not gonna do it. Better future, what you say? Maybe you could do a topic covering different levels of conditioning. For sure. For sure. Levels of conditioning, levels of consciousness, all of that. All of that needs to be discussed. All of it needs to be discussed. More importantly, like levels of consciousness. And I break down the level of conditioning based off of the way that I kind of started to enlighten myself. And that's why I tell everybody, man, that's why I tell everybody my process, because I feel like a lot of people go through it this same way. And I always go back to religion. One of the first levels of conditioning that I broke or elevated above and beyond was religion. That was the first thing. That was the first thing that I had to break. That was the first thing that had a hold on me. That was the first thing that had a hold on me that I had to break. And I tell people that all the time, and I feel like everybody else that I talk to on this journey, it'd be the same kind of process. The first thing every black person starts to question when they start coming into levels of consciousness and information and things like that, the knowledge itself, as we call it, one of the first things they start to question and get rid of is religion. Every person that I had this conversation with, it'd be the same conversation. It'd almost be the same starting point. I can kid you not. That was the first thing I started to question. First thing. The first thing. And then from there, then like everything else kind of branched off from that, like religion, then like my health, like the way that I was eating, like I said, then the educational system, like the school system, all of that type of stuff. But it all started from religion. I felt like I couldn't move forward until I actually dealt with the concept of religion. I couldn't move forward. I was like, man, this religion, now I gotta get a thorough understanding of this, at least a basic understanding before I move forward with everything else. And I feel like everybody else that been on that same type, like when everybody else that had been on this path and this journey, I feel like it had been that same process. It starts with them questioning religion. I always feel like we be having the same conversation. So it's like I know where you at in your like journey based off of the conversation. If you started to talk about religion, I know you just started on the journey. and especially the way in which you build on it. Like, I know where you at on that journey because that's exactly where I started from. It's religion, religion, religion. I'm like, man, all this type of stuff is nonsense. It's BS. Like, the first thing I was on. That was I'm telling y'all, man, it's the first thing I was on. And it wasn't even like I tried to do that. It just naturally happened. I just started to honestly study art history, and it just naturally led me in the direction of, dad, hold on, yo, all this religion stuff, man. Like, it just naturally led me in a direction. So it wasn't like I was like singling out religion. Like, everybody think that was how my process went, and everybody think that's how I be moving. Everybody thought that, oh, you just be singling out religion. Like, nah, I didn't do that. Like, my intentions were not to disprove, debunk, and destroy religion. That's actually just how it naturally happened for me. Like, I was not trying to do that. I was more so in the process of defining myself, creating my purpose. And that's where I was, you know what I'm saying? That's where I was led. And every time I had a conversation, man, everybody be saying the same exact thing. Same exact thing. Then once I broke through that religion barrier, then it was like, all right, man, I got to change the way that I'm eating. I already had the locks and whatnot, so my appearance was already pretty much that of like a revolutionary person in and of itself. So I ain't really have to change drastically on that. But a lot of times, man, that's when you start seeing people, once they break that mold, then their appearance start looking a little different. They may grow their hair out, something along those lines. But I was already doing that. So I changed up the way that I was eating. Like, everything else was pretty much in alignment, you know. Create strategy, man. I'm telling you. Like, I felt like I couldn't move forward until I accepted some harsh truths about the religion that I had been, you know what I'm saying, told to believe since I was a youngin'. Like, I was like, I can't move forward until I accept these truths. And I had to accept those truths, man. I had to. Male, 100%, man. And honestly, for me, it was holding me in bondage, man. It was holding me in bondage. And the moment I accepted the fact that it was holding me in bondage, I was like, all right, cool. And that's another thing that, to me, that's another major flaw of black people. But it goes in alignment with being forgiving and loving. Like, I feel like the religion got a hold on black people. The religion, spirituality, whatever you want to call it, I feel like that aspect of life got a big hold on black people, and it prevents us from doing what we need to do. It prevents us from doing what we need to do, if y'all know what I'm talking about, if y'all know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna reveal too much on this platform. But I feel like that type of mentality, that religious mentality and all of that, you know what I'm saying, it prevents us from really getting down how we need to get down. If y'all know what I'm saying. If y'all know what I'm saying, man, it prevents us from getting down how we need to get down. Chris, man, like, I've been out the game for like 12, 13 years. I never really was that type of person. Like I said, I was subscribing to things because, hey, that's what people around me, that's what my elders around me was subscribing to. So I was like, I'm whatever they say they are. You know what I'm saying? But I never really was that. In all honesty, like, if we being honest, like, I never really was that. By the time I got some sense, like, I wasn't claiming that, you know. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, I feel like that energy be holding us back a lot. You know. Mr. Mind Over Matter, for sure. Hey, that's what you gotta play with. It says chestnut checkers and all that type of good stuff. But yeah, man, that overly religious mentality, and like I said, it's not even just overly anything is bad. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's overly religious, overly spiritual, all of that creates a problem, man. We got to understand when to put that stuff in the back pocket, as Malcolm X said. Black people don't know when to do that. We don't know when to leave that religion at the crib. Like, we don't know when to do that. We do not know and understand when to do that, man. We do not get it. Like, and we allow that to cause problems that really don't need to be caused. You know what I'm saying? Like, being like the overly religious mentality, man, it just allows people to create problems where there are no problems. And y'all know what I mean, because y'all done had conversations. Y'all done had the same type of conversation that I done had with these same type of people. Problems get created where there are no problems. Literally, you could be saying the same thing as a person, just using different words, and they creating a problem simply because you're not using the same word that they're using. It's conflict, unnecessary conflict. But the difference is their belief system got them thinking that you are a heathen and you gonna burn for eternity. That's the difference. My belief, like whatever I believe, I don't believe that about a person who don't believe what I believe. That's the major difference. I don't believe that you're gonna suffer for eternity if you don't subscribe to my thought pattern. That's the major difference. I feel like it's hard for you to respect a person when you feel like they're a straight heathen and they gonna burn for eternity if they don't believe what you believe. It's hard for me to look at a person like that when they believe that about me and I know that. So that's the difference between that overly religious person when you're having a conversation with them in regards to a difference in beliefs. The difference is their belief system has told them that that person is gonna burn and they need prayer, they need all of this because they law all that type of stuff. Like, nah, I don't have time for that. Yeah, better future, and that's why I say that's to a fault because, and that's one of the reasons why they push it so heavy on us because they prey on that side of us. So that's one of the reasons why religion is so effective because they prey on that side of us, and they knew that. That's why they took a lot of, you know what I'm saying, the spiritual text, religious text, and they remixed them, whitewashed them, and gave them back to us. That's how they got control of us. Goldie, peace, what's happening? Mr. Barbados for sure. Hey, I used to be tapped in the Sonetta back in the day heavy. You know what I'm saying? I used to be tapped in. Hey, when I first got on my journey, I was watching a lot of them joints, the debates and all of that. All of that. Like, said he was my guy back in the day. Said he was my guy. Chris, you already know that's the lineage that I come from, so you know I know all about that. Chemothetics for sure. You say, look at the Supreme Court. It's a majority whites determining if you get a medial shot or not. Yeah, for sure. Clocks in and see, and that be the thing. And this be the thing. I'm gonna build on what my brother Clocks in said. Religion, in my eyes, is a strict guide of someone's perception, spirituality. So it has pros and cons. But I think people should find knowledge of self, then choose what to follow. Now, see, and that's what it is. Only if that's how it was used by the majority. But it is not. You know what I'm saying? But it is not. Now religion more so now is a tool that people use to judge folks by. That's literally what it is now. You got a very small minority, a very small percentage of people that actually legitimately have read their text and then live according to the text. Very small percentage. As we say, the 5% within the 5%. So like when we break down our 5%, that applies to everything. Not just the 5% nation. Like that applies to religions. You may have, in regards to Christianity, you're going to have 5% of the Christians that might actually live out Christianity the way it's intended to be lived. You might have 5% of the Muslims that live out Islam the way it's intended to actually be lived. You know what I'm saying? That'd be nice if people took these tools, took the best parts from them, as we said, applied them to life, and then just kept it pushing. But that's not what we do. That's not what we do at all. That's not what we do at all. We use these things when they are convenient for us in regards to judging others. Y'all know what I mean. Person that don't follow the Bible at all. But since you don't fool with the Bible, then that's when they want to pull it out on you and they want to start quoting scriptures, letting you know that how you live in this foul. But then when you reverse it back on them, then that's when they want to hit you with a justification like we all sinners, this, that, and the third. Well, again, take your book, use it as a guide to help you maneuver through life. Don't use it as a guide to judge the next person. But that's what people want to use all these religions as. They want to use it as a tool to convert other people, to let other people know how they living is wrong, and that's when it becomes a problem. And that's how people tend to use these religions as tools to let you know that, hey, you following the wrong this, that, and the third. I done had all of these conversations from the Bible thumpers to the people that fool with the Quran. Every group I done came across, once we start having a conversation. It revolves around them trying to convert me to their lifestyle, trying to let me know why what I'm saying is incorrect, this, then the third, according to their doctrine. So you just getting judged based according to their doctrine. Every time. It never fails. Never fails. Like I said, until you get to that small minority that you're able to have an efficient or productive conversation with. But that is rare. More times than not, you're gonna come across a person that barely done read Genesis, but then finna thump that Bible on you because they know you don't fool with it. Oh, Chris, man, I didn't quote it vice versa on my streams a few times, man. Yeah, but that's my song though. Man, Ray, yeah, I'm in Rock Squad. Yeah, I'm yeah. Back then they was cool, man, but I'm friends with some of them cats on Facebook, man. And I feel like they done got paid off or something, man. They be on some weird stuff now, man. I ain't even gonna lie. They be on some weird stuff, man. They on some weird stuff heavy. For real. Like, I straight up. Like, I'm friends with, yeah, that stuff weird, man. They on some weird stuff now, I'll say that. Like, I'm gonna say that much, man. I don't know what they be on now, but they really be on some weird stuff now. Mr. Mind Over Matter, you say tools build weapons, destroy. Yeah, and the thing about a tool, like I said, a tool can be used to build. It can be used for building. It can be used for destruction. And Chris, you say the people who only know the parts of the Bible the pastor talk about. Yep, those are, and they barely know those parts. They barely know those parts. You know what I'm saying? Barely know those parts. Barely. You know, but when it comes to just levels of awareness, levels of consciousness, man, that's where it was at for me, man. I had got into, like, just started studying all of these belief systems, all of these religions. Then, of course, it led me to, like, ancient Kemet, things like that. Then you always get fascinated with ancient Kemet, and you get stuck on Kemet for a long time. This tends to happen. You get stuck on ancient Egypt for a long time. You just think ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, like that's it. Like, ain't no other part of Africa, man. You get stuck there. And I was there for a minute, and then I was like, dag, man, hold on, Africa bigger than Kemet. Then I started studying Ethiopia, you know what I'm saying, Kush, and, you know what I'm saying, I started studying all that type of stuff, man. So I'm like, all right, Sudan and all of these other parts of Africa. But for that, like, you gonna go, boom, get rid of religion, then you gonna get stuck on Kemet for a minute. That always happen. Like, I was there, I was stuck on, I'm like, God dang, I'm like, ancient Kemet, boy, this fascinating. It's fascinating. Then I transcended above and beyond ancient Kemet. Still love ancient Kemet, but that's how the process be going. You drop that religion, and I guarantee you're going to be in the ancient Kemet. I guarantee it. That's going to be your next step in that journey. I guarantee everybody, I swear to everybody that I've seen go through this journey, that's where they get. They drop religion, and then they be into ancient Kemet. Hard. Like, everything they going to talk to you about going to be ancient Kemet this, Kemet that, Kemet that. Nothing wrong, Kemet this, Kemet that. Nothing wrong with it, but it's like, dude, we a little bit bigger than Kemet also. But you're going to get stuck on Kemet. I mean, I was there for a minute. I still got all them books. I still got all the ancient Kemet books. All of them. I got all of them. Man, I get every book on Kemet I had seen at the time. I had started buying it. Got all of them. So you get stuck, man. When you go back to the motherland, you get stuck one part. So it's like, hold on, man. It's the motherland, like, and it's bigger than just Kemet. Like, to the point where when I had read, now I got a book called, like, The Wonderful Ethiopian. I think it's The Wonderful Ethiopians. It might be in that book. I got several books on Ethiopia. But then when I actually learned that everything, like, when the Kemetic civilization came from the Ethiopian civilization, I was like, oh, man. Like, I was mind blown. You know what I'm saying? That's how stuck on Kemet I was. Like, that's how stuck on it I was, man. But, man, I was on that for a very long time. And Master Dex, that's just what I had just said right when he was typing that. But yeah, when I had learned that, I was like, oh man, I was stuck on Kemet for so long. Then I started studying Kush and all that, man. I started studying everything, man. But one of my favorite authors on this particular subject matter that was kind of broadening my horizons at the time was Shaq Antediop. I don't even know if I'm saying the first name right, but yeah, Antediop. I was reading all his books. I was reading a lot of his joints. I think I pretty much done read all of his joints. I believe. I don't know, but I think I done read all of his joints. Shante, man, I ain't necessarily had books stolen from me. At least I don't think. Got so many books I might have had some stolen. But I done definitely loaned some joints out. And that just kind of forced me to kind of dig a little bit deeper too. Kimson, for sure. And like and that's pretty much how everything be going. You know what I'm saying? I boom, questioning religion, then I was stuck on ancient Kemet. Then I started studying just all of Africa. And then I'm studying stuff beyond Africa. Like it's a whole process, man. Whole process. Whole process. Whole process, man. The studying process is good. That's why I say when I hear certain people talk, man, I know where they at on the journey. And I be like talking to people. I'm like, man, I was into that. And then outside of like just studying my people, studying my history, outside of that, then just studying the corruption of the world, that's you also hit that in phases too. You know what I'm saying? Like I had got a point to where I was studying like ancient like mysteries and history type deals, and then I got to the point where I was studying like the secret societies and all of that type of good stuff. And then that led to me just studying the politicians in general, you know, Bohemian Grove and things like that, man. I started getting into all of that. Yeah, don't even get me started on that nonsense. Like that's when you can hit that point to where when they start saying, oh, like all of this knowledge can be depressing, like that's when you hit that point. When you start studying like government and politics and all of that, that's when stuff can start getting depressing. That's when stuff can start getting depressing. When you start studying that stuff. Like that's almost had reached that level. That's when I started hitting nihilism and stuff. I was like, man, nah, man, they already got the game plan written out. They already know what they gonna do to us. It ain't nothing we can do to stop it because we too far gone. Like that's where my mind was at when I started like studying their agendas, studying their plans, studying all the stuff that they did and carried out over the years. I was like, dude, I said, we literally pawns in the game. And speaking of that, I got a book behind me called Pawns in the Game. I read that book based off of the recommendation of Professor Griff. I got that book behind me somewhere. I would go back and grab it if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all the jewel. I'm gonna give y'all the jewel right here. Pawns in the Game. I read this back in the day off the recommendation from Professor Griff. So this book, man, this is an old joint. Y'all see it. But Professor Griff recommended this joint, man. I grabbed it, broke it down, and I read this book, and I was like, yeah, nah. Like literally, Pawns in the Game literally is breaking down how we are pawns in a game. It's breaking it down. Breaking it down. Pawns in the game. This book right here is letting you know, showing and proving how we are pawns in the game, how they using us as pawns. Like we nothing but pawns, and this book shows and proves that reality. So when I was reading that, I was like, oh, okay, wow. Like this is how it's going. And then when you start analyzing the world, like everything starts to line up for you. So it was just getting confirmed and validated. I was like, all right, cool, here we go. All right, Antonio, yeah, man, I'm telling you. And the Kemet, again, ain't nothing wrong with it. I still go back to Kemet from time to time. But man, I was so stuck on it, like it wasn't nothing else to study in the world. Everything was Kemet this, Kemet that. I was like, nah, I ain't studying nothing other than Kemet. Boy, I was on that. I was on that hard. Fetty TV for sure. I don't even know if you can find it. I don't even know if this book. Honestly, I don't know because this book's so old. I don't know if you can even find this book, but I'm assuming that you can look this joint up on Amazon and grab that joint. But I remember, man, Professor Griff recommended this book, and I went, copped it, read that joint, and I was like, okay, all right. That's what's going on, man. And it was a few of those books, man. I got another book. Matter of fact, another book that I was tapping into. I'll go ahead and show y'all this joint. Another book that I was tapping into back in the day. Here we go. Secret Societies, right here. Here we go, another book. Secret Societies. It's another book. Pawns in the Game, Secret Societies. And say inside the Freemasons, the Yakuza, Skull and Bones. Boy, when I was studying the Skull and Bones stuff crazy. And the world's most notorious secret organizations. This is one of them books. This is a good little book, man. I read this about 10 years ago. And I was reading these books. I was like, all right, all right, here we go. This is what's really happening out here. I was like, all right, they really, like, this is really going down. You know what I'm saying? This is really, really going down out here. But it is what it is, man. I recommend everybody study these type of things, man. Study the secret societies, man. Get a better understanding of the secret societies, man. Study stuff like Skull and Bones and really see how all of these presidents and politicians are affiliated with the Skull and Bones. A lot of them was members of them joints, especially the Bushes. You know what I'm saying? The son and the father. And look how wicked it is. Look at the things they have to do. You know what I'm saying? Be naked with dead bodies and things like that, man. Study their rituals. Like, man, what they doing that for? What do these rituals entail? Like, study this type of stuff, man. It's important. It's important to know. It's important to know. It's important to know. It's important to know and understand the rituals that they performing and why they doing what they doing. So you can understand when you are a part of something. When you are a part of a ritual. Like, rituals, listen, nothing new under the sun. People start talking about rituals. As I have said, people start thinking that this stuff is a conspiracy theory. Man, rituals they've been in existence since we didn't been in existence. Like, that's nothing new. We always perform rituals. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, people perform rituals for evil, for bad. So, you got to know and understand when that's being performed. But you ain't going to know and understand it if you don't know the rituals that they performing. But a lot of people be afraid to dig deep into this type of information. Like, this type of information get a little... You know what I'm saying? Get a little overwhelming. It can get a little crazy. Alti Mirage, you say, how can we connect with you? Man, you could find me on IG, Facebook, and hit me up on one of them joints, man. Just type in the name, ERICBELL. You should find me easily on both platforms, and you can hit me up that way. Oh, Chip. You already... Come on, Chip. Don't do me like that. Now, you know Bobby Hemmett. You know I know all about Bobby Hemmett. Don't Phil Valentine. Don't even do me like that, man. Now, you know I know all about them brothers now. Come on now. I ain't just started doing this, man. Bobby Hemmett. I was on Bobby Hemmett way long ago. Way long ago, man. What's the other brother name, man? I forgot the other brother name, man. But I was Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett. It's another brother. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. Forgetting my name. Forgetting his name, man. It's another important brother that be talking about this same information. Man, I can't think of his name to save my life. But y'all know who I'm talking about, man. Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's another brother that I'm forgetting, and I don't want to forget his name. But it's another brother that be on that type of talk heavy. And I'm forgetting his name right now, and it's making me mad. So now I got to go look it up and remember the name. But y'all know what I'm talking about. But Bobby Hemmett, man, dude had me rolling, man. His little speeches, dude, is hilarious. Hilarious. Kill, nah, I ain't talking about Dr. York. Nope, it's another one, man. I can't think of his name. It's gonna come to me though, man, because he in that same room with Bobby Hemmett and them and whatnot. It's gonna come to me, man, once I look him up. Let me see. Man, y'all, there it is, Brittany. There you go. Shout out to Brittany. Delbert Blair. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Boy, I couldn't think of that name, man. You having too many names all in my mind. But Delbert Blair is who I was talking about. Delbert Blair. Shout out to Brittany. There you go. Knew exactly who he was talking about. But yeah, in that same realm, I used to be on them. Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, Delbert Blair. That was like my trinity. That was like my holy trinity when it came to like the metaphysics. I was on them. Yeah, I know about Ray Hagen too. Y'all name them, I know about them. But yeah, those were the three that I was listening to like consistently though. The other people, man, I might have sprinkled them in there. But man, Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, Delbert Blair stayed in rotation. Starlight, man, you could probably find both of the books I mentioned on Amazon. Chaos Raw. Amos Wilson, that was my favorite. When it comes to politics, when it comes to all of that, that's where I started breaking into that type of stuff. When I started studying like the Bilderberg Group, Council on Foreign Relations, when I started getting deeper into politics, that was because of Amos Wilson. Amos Wilson is the man for like politics and talking about the government and how the system is actually constructed. Amos Wilson is the GOAT for that. So all of the studying that I was doing on politics and things like that when I was getting deeper off into the trenches, that was because I read Amos Wilson. Blueprint to Black Power. Like that book, boy, that book inspired your brother. Like that book, that is one of the best books ever. One of the best books ever. But yeah, man, I was on them joints hard though. King K. Now, of course, of course. Like I said though, man, I was listening to some of everybody, some of everybody, and then when it came to like healing, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Queen Afua. Shout out to Queen Afua, man. Shout out to Queen Afua. Like that's not one of the first persons because I got introduced to all that from music, like Dead Prayers when they had their song "Be Healthy." That's when I really got introduced to just the healthy living through listening to music, listening to that song and whatnot. But like I had heard her talk about the joint, like about health and all that. And of course she had her books and whatnot for women at that time. But that's when I really kind of first started hearing concepts of like holistic healing and things like that from Queen Afua. Like that's when I really started actually hearing that and hearing people talk about it. Just doing the knowledge to her and whatnot. But yeah, man, I was on Bobby Hemming was hilarious, man. That was back in the day when I was watching speech after speech after speech after speech. I was watching all them joints, lectures after lecture after lecture. And I was big on Professor Griff too. Professor Griff was my man's, man. That was my man. I watched Professor Griff all the time. Professor Griff was my guy. I mean, I still rock with Professor Griff, but you know what I'm saying? I don't watch like lectures and speeches like I used to do. But back then, man, that stuff was raising the kid, man. I was watching a lot of Professor Griff at that time. Yeah, Brittany for sure. Yeah, Queen Afua on point. Definitely on point. Like that, hey, she deserves her flowers. Like the same way we talk about Dr. Sebi and things like that. I feel like Queen Afua is up there. Like that's the level that she's on. Like she deserves the same flowers the way people talk about that. And she's still here. You know what I'm saying? So I be feeling like she be deserving way more credit than she be getting out here for like the work that she has done. Like she is very important to the community. Very important. You would be surprised, like I guarantee you, when you hear a black sister start talking about health and healing and stuff, guarantee you she in read Queen Afua. Guarantee you. There's no way you're going to have a black sister start talking about health and that type of information and not come across Queen Afua and not have read her work. Guarantee you. Guarantee. That'd be like the first person you come across when it comes to black women, healing, health, holistic health, all of that. She going to be the first. That's going to be the first. Like, it's inevitable. I guarantee you that sister that heard of Queen Afua, she talking about that health and she talking about holistic healing and all of that. She know who Queen Afua is. Ain't no way she don't know who Queen Afua is. Ain't no way. The wife is in the building. Y'all say peace to the wife. Kimson, you say Doc. Man, yeah, come on now. Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben. Well, Killer Priest said I look like Dr. Ben, but wait, what did he say? I talk like Dr. Ben, but look like Malcolm holding his Uzi. Like, come on, man. You know, I know all about Dr. Ben, man. Got every Dr. Ben book in this thing. Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark got all of them joints. Like y'all already know when you naming these people, y'all already know I'm tapped in, been tapped in forever. You'll be hard pressed to name a person that I ain't tapped into, because like I said, that was my life for about 10 plus years, man. Watching these speeches, debates, lectures, reading these books. That was my life for a very long time. I read it all, I heard it all. Now, of course, I had my favorites. I ain't tapped in like I used to be. Now I still read the books, but like as far as the lectures and all of that, only lectures I be watching now is Khalid Muhammad. Because I be trying to study the way he presented himself. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to study his style. So I be rewatching a lot of his joints. Because I like the way he be banging on people. I like the way he used to bang on people. So I be just studying the way he got down. But yeah, Dr. Ben is definitely R.I.P. Dr. Ben, man. Definitely one of the GOATs, man. Definitely. Definitely. It's always peace to see other people acknowledge the greats. Always. Always great. Brittany for sure, 100%, man. I'm telling Queen of Fool, man, telling y'all, man, Queen of Fool deserves all the respect. All the respect. That's why I had to make sure I went out of my way to mention her. I had to do that. Like, hold on, let me mention Queen of Fool real quick. Gotta mention Queen of Fool, man. Like she is one of those ones. And she need to be protected, man. Can't nothing happen to Queen of Fool, like for real. Like straight up. And then hey, Layla Africa, you know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Layla Africa. You know what I'm saying? But that he was important too. He was important to my growth and development also. Studying Layla Africa, man. Like I was so blind at that time. Like before I came into all this information, I was so blind, man. I ain't even know black people was out here teaching like that. Like I ain't even know, you know what I'm saying, the Dr. Sabia Layla Africa. I'm like, what? Black people out here that knowledgeable in regards to health? I ain't know. You know, that's how lost I was out here, man. Clocks in. A Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad. The book that turned Detroit Red into Malcolm X. That's the book. You know what I'm saying? That's the book. And that book about had the same effect on me. That book about had the same effect on me. And like I said, again, with us being too forgiving and too loving, when I had got the information from that book, when I read Message to the Black Man and was trying to get that information to people around me, nope. Failed. People weren't trying to hear that. Especially around my age at that time. People right here, they want to chase women. Frances Cress Wilson. Nah, man, I feel bad. So just for that, we're going to bring the book. Can't believe I left out the Queen, Frances Cress Wilson. We got it right here, the ISIS Papers. Come on. Important book. We talk about Neely Fuller Jr., Frances Cress Wilson, right up there. This is one of the most important books. Every black household should have this book. Every black household. And Chip, yeah, we already know Shahrazad Ali for sure. Y'all already know in my studying of Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam, Shahrazad Ali definitely is in that joint, 100%. Sister Soldier, shout out to Sister Soldier as well. Sister Soldier definitely is in that thing. Shout out to Sister Soldier. But yeah, the ISIS Papers, man, like this is required black reading. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm creating a curriculum for black people, this is one of the books, required black reading. Like this is what I'm talking about. We be having to read all them little trash books in school, but like this is what our children need to be reading when they get to certain ages, man. This is what we need to be reading right here. You need to break this book down with a child, man. That's gonna give them a better understanding of the society that they're gonna have to face. They're gonna have to face it. You know what I'm saying? But the ISIS Papers is one of those books. Gotta read about 2 or 3 times. Because it's gonna break down some things to you that you're gonna be like, whoa, you're gonna have to reread that. You're gonna have to reread it. But if anybody has read this book, y'all know and understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, the ISIS Papers, man, is that book. Is that if we create a curriculum, I guarantee you every black person that is a reader that read all the black books, we all gonna have this book in there. Guaranteed. We all gonna have it. We all gonna, the consensus is universally gonna be, hey, the ISIS paper needs to be included in this curriculum. We gonna all agree on that. We might argue on every other book, but we ain't gonna argue on this book. This is one of them books that when you read it as a black person, you're gonna agree that it's one of the most important books that you can read. Hands down. Hands down. She broke it down. She broke it down for sure. Brittany, and that's all. Hey, for some of us, that's all we ask. Just study and read. That's all I ask, man. That's it. That's all I ask, man. That's all I study, read. Just do the knowledge, man. That's it. That's the boom. That's foundation. Because once you do that, everything gonna unfold according to that. So once you do that, I don't need to tell you to do anything else. Once I say study and read, and you actually start studying and reading, that's it. Game over. Everything gonna unfold according to what you are studying and reading. So if you reading and studying the right material, you good. Ain't nothing to worry about. Ain't nothing to worry about. Oh yeah, The Destruction of Black Civilization, Chancellor Williams, GOAT book. One of the greatest books. That's probably another one of them joints that would be universally agreed upon. Miseducation of the Negro. A lot of people like that joint. Yeah, a lot of people like that. That's a lot of books that I can break down and bring to the table. Like I said, I still got that video coming, man. I'm gonna have a video of some of my book recommendations in regards to certain genres and whatnot. But yeah, man, the ISIS Papers is definitely up there, man. Frances Cress Wilson, one of them ones, man. One of them ones. She was one of them. like the Neely Fuller Jr. type that was letting you know that we cannot be racist as black people. She was a sister that stood on that square. You know what I'm saying? Breaking it down. Showing and proving why we cannot be that. And I'm always respect somebody that stand on that type of truth when it comes to just conversing with the beast and whatnot. But yeah, man, shout out to the queens, man. Shout out to the black women that been putting in this work. See, that's one thing. Like we gonna bang on the system, man. You gonna have some brothers that gonna do it, man. But when you get the sisters out here that be banging just like the dudes that's banging from an educational standpoint, you know what I'm saying, from a scholastic standpoint, like really doing the knowledge and research, game over. Game over. Rudy, what would you say? Let me put that on the screen. Addicted to White, the oppressed in the league with the oppressor, Jerome Fox. I've heard of that joint. I ain't broke that one down yet, though. Heard of that one. Anais, peace, what's happening? Oh, Kingra. Hey, Mawala Mubarudi. Oh, man. Yes, sir. One of my favorites again. I always quote his book, man. The Feminization and Homosexuality. What is it? The Feminization and Homosexuality of man, I always misquote the doggone book, man. So let me go ahead and bring it up. Let me go ahead and bring the book up. I got the book somewhere, but I ain't finna go find that one. Yeah, but I got a lot of his joints. Yeah, I got a lot of his joints, man. He be going in. That's why I learned about the concept of righteous rage. Yeah, the homosexuality and the feminization of African males. I read that book by Baruti. A Sappho, A Warrior's Guide to Manhood. I read that book by Baruti, and it's another book. I think the book I got, Iwa or whatnot. I think that was written by Baruti as well. And complimentary. What is it? Hold on. I ain't read that one. I think those are the 3 books that I've read by my man's Baruti for sure. Yeah, but Mawala will be going in, especially when it comes to like manhood and things like that. But I have broken down about 3 of his books. I got 3 of his books in here and broke down 3 of them. Chemothetics, man. I remember that. And it's crazy, man. Dr. Sebi went out here and was doing a lot of work, and people still don't, you know what I'm saying? People still don't believe it. Man, but had the evidence, documents, all of that. JB. Yeah, too quiet. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make some noise now. We gotta get these people up. We gotta get the devils off our backs. You know? We gotta get them off our backs. Yeah, we gotta get them off our backs, man, because they on our backs big time. Gotta get them off the back. Gotta get the monkey off the back. Gotta get the devil off the back. Oh yeah, chemothetics, man. Yeah, we still got too many black people that be supporting Fauci anyway, though. Got too many to my liking. You know what I'm saying? That dude foul, that dude wicked. But we still got too many black folks that be supporting them. Once again, you know what I'm saying? We blindly trusting these folks, man. But like I said, if I pulled up a book by Layla Africa, if I pull up How to Eat to Live, if I pull up Dr. Sebi, then we gonna be like, nah, we're not gonna trust that. But then if Dr. Fauci tell you anything, you gonna accept it without questioning. But if I give you a whole book about Layla Africa and I tell you these are the herbs, these are the supplements, these are the foods that Layla Africa tells you to eat in this book that'll help keep your immune system intact, you're going to question me. But if we say the CDC and Dr. Fauci said these foods will help build your immune system, you're going to run out and get all of those foods without asking any question. That's what I can't stand. Jamar, that's another good book. That's another good book. Matter of fact, put that on the screen. That's another good book. But yeah, I used to like I can't stand that. I still can't stand that. I know why it happens, but I can't stand it. I start breaking down books written by us, for us, all of that, and people be like, "Oh, I ain't gonna listen to that." That black person know what he's talking about, even though they well trained, qualified, all of that, got every credential that the white person got. But then when the CDC tell you something, then you just drop everything and believe what they saying. That's trash, man. I'm gonna rock with the people that look like me. I'm gonna rock with Layla Africa. I'm gonna rock with Savi. I'm gonna rock with Elijah Muhammad when he told me how to eat to live. I'm gonna rock with these folks. I'm gonna rock with them. Yeah, Brittany, for sure, 100%. We definitely train in their ways, indoctrinated in their ways, all of that. All of that. That's why you gotta break it. That's why you gotta break it. And again, on top of all the people that I mentioned, Queen of Fool and all that. You know what I'm saying? So we keep letting these white folks tell us what's best for ourselves, but we don't listen to our people that look just like us. Come on, man. That like make it make sense. Who I'm gonna listen to when it comes to the body? I'm gonna listen to somebody that look like me. I'm gonna look like somebody that don't look like me. Like, nah, I'm gonna listen to this person that look like me, man. That's experienced in this field, just like the person that don't look like me. But they have experience working with people who look like me. We gotta understand that. But we gotta understand genetically and scientifically it makes sense. Like, we are really not the same as them. Like, we have different requirements. We gotta understand that, man. This is not hate speech. This is a fact. We have different requirements than they do, and that's just an actual fact. We do not have the same nutritional requirements as white people. We don't. You know what I'm saying? When your pigment is a little darker, you got different requirements. So if you live how they living, like their normal or their average can be destructive to us, and that's essentially what's happening. That's essentially how our health is suffering because we going by their normal. Like their normal is not good for us. So we can't base things off of their normal, their standard. Like we can't do that. That's detrimental to our health, and that's what we do. Like that is exactly what we doing. We living according to their norm. If y'all do the knowledge right now, if y'all go to Google right now and look up what's a good blood pressure, according to Google, that good blood pressure, man, is borderline hypertension. So you will go to the doctor and you will have that blood pressure that they tell you is cool, whole while is really not. So their average is destructive. Their normal is destructive. That's why I don't strive for them. When somebody tell me when you go somewhere and they be like, oh, your blood pressure is average or is good, then I know that you got a problem. Like, nah, that means your blood pressure is high. It's a little high. It's a little high. They're not going to tell you that, though, man, because, again, their norm and all that type of stuff, their average is destructive to us. So we got to know and we got to understand that. But you got to study your people to get that truth because they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that truth because they're not supposed to. So they just doing their job. They just doing their duty. They just doing their job, man. And we got to know and understand that. I know and understand that. That's what they doing. They doing what they supposed to do. They doing what they was, you know what I'm saying, put here for. That's it. They doing what they evolved for. Let me put it that way. So it is what it is. Like I say, I listen to my people, man. I listen to my ancestors. I listen to them tell me what's right and exact. You know what I'm saying? I listen to that information. I'm going to trust them because, again, it makes more sense. The peace, what's the word? What's happening? Akuma, man, you say the food pyramid was designed to sell us food. It was designed to definitely brainwash to the wrong ways of eating, destructive ways of eating. Like that's what it's for, man. That's what it's for, man. It's just, hey, to wipe us out, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because if we adhere to that pyramid, you know what I'm saying, we already know what's going to happen. We setting ourselves up for a long, long, long years of suffering. And then we just going to pass all of that down to future generation. So that's how it goes, man. That's how the cycle becomes destructive, and that's how it stays destructive. Because they give you, like I said, and I done talked about this plenty of times, but just to show you how fickle everything is, when you in the fitness industry, man, like they can't even agree on what actually makes people obese and things like that. Like listen, the villain changes every 20 or 30 so years. Back in the day, you know what I'm saying, they vilified fat. So everything was low fat this, low fat that, low fat this. Now the villain is what? Carbs, sugar. You know what I'm saying? So now, again, another 20, 30 years is going to be protein. You know, so they keep changing the villain. They got it. So that's letting you know that they confused. Michael, peace, what's happening? That's letting you know. 20, 30 years ago, they was telling you that you was obese because of the fat in the food. Now, fast forward to today, they telling you that you're obese because of the carbs in the food. So now they told you to cut your carbs. 20 years ago, they was telling you to cut the fat out. Now they telling you, oh, no, fat ain't the problem. Long as it's a good quality fat, you can have as much fat in your diet as you want. Now carbs are the problem. Come on now. Come on now, it's money. So we know what's happening. Patrick, peace, what's happening? Nah, Kuma, what I'm saying is it hasn't been sugar in regards to the mainstream. Years ago was fat. Like that's the reason why it came up with the whole. That's why the low fat thing was crazy back in the day, because they was telling people that the reason why you are gaining this weight, the reason why we are getting bigger is because it's fat. You know, and they created all these low fat these low fat diets and all of this type of stuff. So back then they was telling people that the main villain in regards to obesity and all these other problems was fat. We was consuming too much fat. Like that's what they was on. And then they changed the game, and now the problem has become carbs. So now everything is keto this and keto that. You know? Watch the sugar here, don't eat the fruit here. Yeah, so that's what they was on. That's gonna change. And the reason why I say it's gonna change to protein is because there's actual science behind the overconsumption of protein leading to that. So that's coming up next. That's coming up next. What they doing right now, though, what's taking the time, what they doing right now is they capitalizing off all of these plant-based foods. You know what I'm saying? These fake meats and whatnot. So once they get their hand into these little companies and whatnot for a long period of time, then they going to tell you to stay away from all of this meat and whatnot. Then they going to tell you to start eating all of the fake meat and this, that, and the third. So that's when they going to make protein out to be the villain. Then they're going to say, all right, yeah, transition over to this plant-based protein. That's what's going to happen in about 20, 30 years. Mark the words, sir. Y'all heard it here first. They already trying to tell y'all that it's a meat shortages and things like that. So they already priming us up for that type of transition. They already priming us up. So in about 20, 30 years, they're going to tell the world that, nah, you know what I'm saying? Forget the carbs. Protein is the problem. Y'all consuming too much protein. Like I said, it's actual science that backs that. So they going to boom. That's when they going to bring that to the forefront. And then at that time, they're going to be to monopolize all these plant-based meats, which they already did, but it ain't to their liking. So then when they get some years in the game, they monopolize that industry heavy enough, then they're going to have you transitioning over to that. And they're going to tell you stay away from the animal protein because the overconsumption of animal protein is linked to X, Y, and Z. Get the plant-based protein, and boom. So that's what's going to be the next move. Black God, peace, what's happening? Rude boy, peace, what's the word? Yeah, Shantae, man, and that's the move. Because we already know they lacing that with a bunch of everything, you know. But that's going to be their next move, man, to get the whole world on that joint. And they're going to have it laced with some of the same stuff they laced the other meat, like the real meat with. Or not the real meat, but the animal meat, the animals with. So I already see it coming. Ah, yeah, you know, low protein diet, you know what I'm saying? Get you plant-based. Get you plant-based protein. Eat plant-based. Like, I already see it coming. See it coming now. There's too much evidence out here on it. Too much evidence out here on the overconsumption of protein, so they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to do it. Yeah, chemothetics for sure. Yeah, but big marketing. And as I always talk about, yeah, which I hate bringing up my credentials, but that is my actual degree field, marketing. So I'm able, and I actually cared for it. So I paid a little bit of attention in marketing, and I still study marketing outside of having a degree in it. So I see more like I always pay attention to the marketing. Hence why I always understand. I know I understand when they target why they target the kids. You know what I'm saying? You get the kid that want to go to McDonald's, you get the family. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they target kids, talk about Happy Meals and toys. And when they got the little playground, the playpen, whatever in McDonald's, like that's all to get the family there. But in order to get the family there, I'm gonna get the kid. I get the baby, boom. Mom's gonna have to. Baby can't get there on their own. Baby got to get there via the moms, via the pops, via the parents. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this baby to want that McDonald's, and the baby cry about the McDonald's. Mom's gotta take him to McDonald's. There we go. So that's why a lot of these fast food industries and all this, man, they be doing all that colorful marketing, trying to get the kids. They either target the kids directly or they target it as a family. So they try to get the family. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them, they just start straight targeting the kids, the babies specifically. Get the babies, get the kids to create that desire, that urge in them to want that McDonald's. Boom, and we win. Oh, Master Dex, man. Yeah, they bad for the kidneys, man. I've been off of those for a very long time, those shakes. They can destroy them kidneys, 100%. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they do a lot of marketing towards the babies, man. Like if it's something that's poisonous that they want to get to the population, a lot of times they gonna target the babies. A lot of times they gonna target the babies. They gonna get the baby. They know what the baby's watching out here. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna put that commercial in that joint where the baby's watching. We gonna put that Happy Meal, that McDonald's commercial on the platform where the baby's focused, where they watching, and we got them. So that's what they be on. That's what they be on. Now your baby hooping and hollering and wants some McDonald's, some Burger King, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, all right, we just finna go ahead and get it. You don't even realize what's happening. You don't even realize what's happening. Oh, Jamar for sure. Yeah, we already know what's going on. We know what's going on. Oh, Terenzo, yeah, for sure. Being a breatharian gonna lead to obesity. Like I said, man, exactly, and that's how I be. That's how I be. You know what I'm saying? Favorite food, chicken nuggets. Like what? That's how I be though. Brittany, man, you already know. You say grew up on Tip Drill and McDonald's. You already know. Being St. Louis born, I already know about the. I already know about the Tip Drill. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They had us good, boy. They had us tapping into stuff we ain't had no business tapping into. They had us tapping into things we ain't have any business tapping into. Like when I tap, and the thing of it is, I mean, we ain't had no business tapping into it, but I feel like honestly, being exposed to some of that stuff early actually helped my development. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like I feel like just tapping in, like not being sheltered from all of that type of stuff. I actually feel like it kind of helped me in some way. As crazy as that may sound, I feel like, man, because it wasn't no strict. I ain't with no strict household, man. So I was tapping into things that probably shouldn't have been tapping into. But I feel like, man, once I got older though, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't fascinated by none of that. Like I ain't have no desire to check. Like I already had seen all of this stuff. You know, so when I got older, man, it was like, man, this ain't nothing, man. This ain't nothing. I know we've already seen this. So I actually feel like that joint kind of like helped me just being exposed to all of these different things, man. Just not being sheltered when I was young. Like it actually helped me when I got a lot older. Like I wasn't thirsty to be seeing a bunch of things, man, when I got older. Because at that point, you didn't been exposed to it and really was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't got all your little fun out the way when you got exposed to it as a youngin'. But it's like now, it's like, all right, whatever. So I'm glad I got exposed to certain things, man, as a youngin' because I feel like it helped me as I got older. Like it just like that desire, that curiosity was just gone by the time I got old. So I wasn't thirsty to be out here chasing with I wasn't thirsty to do a bunch of things. I feel like I'd have been thirsty to do them if I wouldn't have been exposed to a lot. And I seen that. I seen some people that was extra sheltered. Boy, they got to college and got loose, went to going crazy. And I was like, nah. Yeah, Brit. Yeah, Brit. Yeah. Woo, yeah. It was some stuff going on too, man. It was crazy. DF, you say how to fight hunger pains. Best way to do that is fasting. Best way to fight them hunger pains, fasting and drink water. Because at the end of the day, you're really not hungry. You can go a very long time. You can go days without food. You know what I'm saying? So when you think that that's really hunger, a hunger pain is actually your body crying out some water. So drink some water. Drink some water. Like that's the method right there. Drink water. You really not hungry. You know what I'm saying? That's your mind playing trick on you. You're not hungry. You actually need some water. You want some water. So get that water. So when you think your stomach is out here sending out a hunger pain, drink water. And then practice fasting. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That'll curb all of that. Detox and all that good stuff, man. Like go do things like, you know what I'm saying, green juices or green smoothies for like 3 or 4 days. You know, do things like that. That'll help curb all of that. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I gotta make my moves up to this gym, man. Got a few little sessions this evening. So I gotta go ahead to this gym, man. Go ahead and terrorize these clients. I appreciate y'all tapping in for this build. Definitely not gonna be on this joint tomorrow. So that'll give y'all a chance to consume all this information, all this inspiration, all that good stuff, man. So I appreciate donations, appreciate all the comments, all the love, all that good stuff, man. I'm gonna tap out, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of this Tuesday and enjoy your Wednesday. We'll try to tap back in with y'all on Thursday. Y'all be easy out here though. Peace.